I'm Johnny, you're watching a View to a Grill, and in this video, we're using the snake configuration for low and slow smoking. Now this is the 5th video in a series of videos that I'm doing over charcoal configuration methods. In this video, we're going to talk more about the method than the recipe. We'll start by stacking 2 rows of charcoal 2 high along the bottom grate of your charcoal grill. For our wood, we could use chips, but I have some wafers of hickory that I'm going to use. We'll use this pattern all the way around the bottom of the grill. Now be sure to leave some space for your lit charcoal when you want to start your cook. We'll start by stacking up 10 to 14 lit briquettes just to bring the pit up to temperature. I'll just wipe down the grill. I don't need to thoroughly clean it because I'm going to use a rack for the pork butt. We'll make sure we fill up the water reservoir with water and then put the pork butt on. It's about 8 o'clock at night. I like to use these wire racks whenever I'm smoking ribs, pork butt, brisket. It just makes it easier to manage the meat during your smoke because you don't have to grab the meat anymore. If you need to rotate or move, you just grab the wire rack and do whatever you want. If you're interested in them, I'll have a link down below. I have my ambient thermometer placed where I want it to be. Get the lid closed and finish setting up the thermometer. I'll bring this pit up to temp with the pork butt in it. We want to make sure that both vents are wide open. Now it's time for a little fire management. My target temperature is 235 degrees, but I'll take 10 degrees either way, and close enough is golden. I'll start slowing my temperature increase down before my target temperature because you can't stop the rate of increase on a dime. So at 210, I will start shutting the bottom vent down. And with the Weber kettle, you have these nice little marks. So I'll move it over 1 dot. And then again, at 220 degrees, I'll move over the bottom vent. And then again, 5 degrees before my target temp, at about 230, I'll move it the rest of the way. Now, as you can see, I already had mine pre-marked. That's a little cheater method you can do. Once you know where your target temperature is, get a magic marker and mark it. And then you won't have to do this. You can just move your vents to where they need to be. Now it's about midnight, so we're going to check on the pork butt. We've burned through about a quarter of the snake, so I went and added some more charcoal to the tail end just to get us through the night. Fire's burning good. Water pan still has a lot of water in it. Pork butt looks good. As you can see here, I did open the top vent a little bit, but I left the bottom vent right where it was. Temperature is holding steady at 224 degrees. Like I said, close enough is golden. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to trust this thing. It's just going to ride just like it is all through the night. It's the next morning, and as you can see, we burned through all the way up until the point where we added charcoal the night before. I'll just probe a little just to see how tender the pork butt is. And then I'll get the ambient temperature thermometer back in, as well as the thermometer that's going to measure the internal temperature of the pork butt. Now I have the Weber Kinect. I have a whole series of Weber Kinect videos. If you'd like to see them, click the link above. What the Weber Kinect does is it switches the view from temperature to countdown. And I really don't like that. As a matter of fact, I've learned to ignore it. I added some coals, closed the lid, checked the vents, and now I'm going to take my wife to her doctor's appointment. Now, since COVID is going on, I wasn't allowed to go in the hospital with her, but I gladly waited in the parking lot. Now, the Weber Kinect is Wi-Fi enabled, so while I was waiting, I monitored my pork butt, and the temperature was spiking. There's nothing I can do about that. Now we're back home, and it's time to check the pork butt. We'll get the lid off and check the charcoal. There is a little bit left. Now we'll see if it's probe tender. Oddly enough, I like the way that feels. And it's, to my estimation, it's done when the internal temperature is 194 degrees. Now, this generally happens between 195 and 205, but today, this pork butt is done at 194. That's why we always probe for tenderness. We're ready to get this pork butt off the grill. I'll just place it on a foiled sheet pan. And remember, we always let our protein rest. After about an hour and a half, as you can see, this thing just tore apart. All I used was my fingertips, and it was butter. Not bad for a 13-hour pork butt. Thank you for watching A View to a Grill, and if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Take care, y'all.